Welcome to Tuesday, Wildlings. How we doing? I thought I'd bring up a short little video here, kind of show you what's been going on around the old Elfin Raceway. And it started with that little flag gantry right there. Now, you guys heard a little bit about it. I'll tell you a little bit more. Just from what I know, Shane drew this up, and he was trying to come up with an idea. And anyway, he shared it with Magnetic Racing, and they came up with this idea and worked it out. And I can't give you all the details because I don't really know. He's probably better. Those guys are better off to tell you, but they came up with that. And I won't lie, you add it to the track, it changes your whole opinion just at the start finish line, because it goes straight across the start finish line on a Carrera track. So you see it's right over. It's perfectly lined up with it. So I don't block too much light here. But yeah. It's perfectly lined up with it. So it's perfect. Of course, you got Shane over there already, excited about it. Alf's just trying to just got the race started. And Betty, well, she's not so sure about Shane there. I think she's ready for another trip somewhere is what I'm thinking. But, so what it inspired me to do was rework my garage. And a little bit extra. So this is where I'll start. So the garage there, you see it's got lights on it that are lighting up the checkered sign there underneath the Elfin Raceway sign. And that does that all the time. The other part of it is there's a second set of lights in there that in the dark, it looks a lot easier to see. And if you got music. So if you see it responds to music. It's easier if you see it in the dark. See how it responds? Responds to voice. Hello! Yeah. So you get the idea. Thought I'd share that. I worked really hard on it. It was very inspirational to me just by myself. And it's one of the first things I ever built 3 years ago when I first got my first Carrera track. I seen the pit lanes they sold on Carrera. And I was like, man, I can't afford that. And I was in a place where I just couldn't do that. So I opted to build my own since I had my own lumber. So I did. And this is what I came up with. Well, it's what I originally came up with was what you saw before. It's a five base, holds 10 cars. And the Elfin Raceway sign that's on the top there used to actually be below, right below the Home of Slot Car Wildman sign, frontage right there. Used to be right there going across the front. Well, upon putting the tower in there, the start entry gantry, I was like, yeah, I need to do something different. So, inspired me to change it to this. Now, it took me all weekend to build the front end of this thing. I won't lie. A lot of mistakes made along the way trying to get the lettering right. I mean, I measured them, and then you had to remeasure them, and then you'd print some, and they didn't. I had some of them that kind of came out burnt, which was kind of, I think I had my setting too high for heat on the filament printer, because all the letters were made with filament, and so was the car in the middle, if you can see that. Let me close in a little bit on what I'm talking about here. So, Elfin Raceway, if you close in a little bit, there we go. You can see I got a little filament car there, and I painted it up real quick. Nothing fancy, I just needed to have an appearance, and kind of a Christmas color, but I was trying to get away from the red and green everywhere, even though, red, green, and white are Christmas colors. So is purple, believe it or not. But anyway, I'll digress. So I put all that together. The car originally didn't come out right. It wasn't the right scale. I just printed it from what the scale it was on. It looked like it was right, but it needed to be shrunk just a little bit, so I did, and got that on there. It's just a half car. And then I started putting the letters on. Then I decided to paint the letters because those are actually Christmas letters. So all the coloring you see in the letters and stuff along the way, you can't see them all. But they're actually imprints on there, so I can paint it and make it kind of look like it's supposed to, more Christmassy. So I started painting that. Well, originally, just with the letters alone, I started with just green letters all the way across everything. I didn't like it. It just didn't. It looked too plain. So then I did several renditions of colors. I actually, if you see the Y over here on the end, I actually did a gold one, which one of them made it onto the board because I thought I needed a change right there too. I did them in silver, red, green, and gold. And this is what I came up with. I didn't put the silver on there. It blended in too much with the metallic background. And then, I know you can't see it very well, but the actual Elfin Raceway sign is on a metallic green, dark green background. So it has a little bit of reflectiveness to it when you look at it from the front with all the lights on. I'm keeping the lights low today because, I just wanted to kind of show the rendition of the lighting. So, but yeah, a couple new things that were added. I got the slot car Wildman. Here, let me move this foam thing out of the way. Finally got this lit up. That's my light up sign. And if you see, it's got little different colors in the little holes right here at the top. So just a little extra flair to it, along with my little wildlings down there. 2 so far. Hey, Hughes is not at his billboard sign. This is a record. I know where he's at. You got to be pretty proud of this thing. It's awesome. This is the first time this car ran. It's been in the box since I bought it, and I had never actually presented it or ran it on the track. So I thought I'd start it off with that intro, and I ran her around in ghost mode, and she looked great. Freaking great car. I've got quite a few cars that I've not taken out of the box. This is one I finally broke it out, and she actually rolled around the track for a little bit. But so then we go to back to the sign here. These guys worked their asses off on this. Like I said, Shane drew up the idea, got with Ian and Doug, and man, 3 minds together, and they came up with this. With the right supports, right everything. I mean, there's nothing underneath it to support it, so it's all held from the start point, or from the control unit. And then it's got the holes in it for lighting. I painted my holes a little bit red on the interior, just so the lights would show up a little better, but it doesn't really look that bad. And I'll put it in full mode. So yeah, with the lights on, I got them on there perfectly. Actually, gotta slide it just a little bit. So yeah, you got all your holes, all your lights come up through it. You got a cameraman filming this whole thing, just like I'm doing. Whatever, just step out of the way. I might get in the way of his picture. So I really just wanted to show that off. I was privy to get one a little earlier. I didn't know about it, but I knew there was something coming, and Doug and Ian sent it out with my last package, but told me I could not reveal it until after they and Shane had done it, which was fine. I was blessed to be lucky enough to get one of those. I had mentioned it, I said, I heard Shane's got something coming up. Should I wait on my order? And they go ahead and make your order. We'll send one with it. I'm like, oh, goody. So, yeah, they added it to my order, and I got it paid and sent off, and I had it sometime last week. Anyway, so yeah, I knew a little about it, but not much. So I think it's freaking great. I noticed that Shane did his in Mobile One. I have these Slot Invasion stickers. Every time you buy Slot Invasion guides, which is who they are, they have some tools too, and tires, and few odds and ends if you want to take a look at their site. Again, I'm not getting paid by anybody to do this. I'm just sharing the fun I had this weekend with it. So mine's decorated as Slot Invasion. You can see it on the back. You can see it on the side there. And then there's one on the front. And then I wired up the 5 green lights to it. Matter of fact, if you look right over there, you can see where it wires into, and then it goes down under the table and wires over. So, yeah. Garage made its first appearance with lights on again. Now, right now, I got both sets of lights on. So, and then I changed my pit lane a little bit. Sorry, the scale auto is blocking a little bit of it, but it's because I'm showing you that in a second. I got my Porsches from Scale Auto in there. Behind there's the red Cadillac. Here's the blue Cadillac, and guys, I just got the yellow Cadillac in last. I think it was Saturday is when I finally got it. It was either Friday or Saturday. I was kind of ticked because it kept saying it was coming in earlier, but I finally found one, got it, like I said last week. And so I put her out and running. Awesome car. Runs just as well as the others. And guys, I'm not a big scale. I was not a big scale auto fan, at all. Because I've got a couple of them back here. See, I keep moving the camera. Hey, it keeps you guys' attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. So, I didn't have much performance with them. I have a couple of Porsches. They're all right, but I think the magnets are in the wrong place. And I've not gotten into the tuning side, guys. 3 years in, and I have not done tuning because I've been too busy working with the track. Matter of fact, I'm probably not the best driver either because I don't get a lot of time to drive, other than when I'm testing the track and making sure it's working. This layout, I've actually gotten quite a bit of drive time on. Matter of fact, what was it? Weekend before last, I just sat down here on Sunday. I was on vacation still. It was the last day of my vacation. I came down here and I ran cars on the track all day. I just had a blast. Changing out cars. I didn't really get up to the Carrera cars and stuff up there. You can't even see them. I don't even have the camera right. I got this row of cars over here. I stuck to my premiums that are behind me. I'm not going to show all that because it's a mess right at the moment. But, so there we go. Let's bring it back out. So, yeah. That was a beautiful layout. It inspired me to do this garage, which also inspired, if you see up on top, I've got the grid going all the way across. Now, the back is not done yet. I'm still working on that because I plan to put snow into the scene, but I want it to be more of a spring snow than I want it to be a winter snow. And the reason being is, seeing with the loads of Christmas theme, when Santa Claus is off season, this is where he's going to be. It's right after Christmas. Now, he's busy up till Christmas Day, and then after that, he takes a little time off to start running some cars and get some race teams together and go off and race. So that's what the whole theme idea is. And so there'll be a lot more added to here. It's taken me a long time to get the motivation to do what I'm doing now. And I honestly feel like this is the best track I've ever done. It's got a little bit of everything. I don't have any chicanes or anything like that. Think about putting them in, and I do want to add some time things on the track for Carrera. So when I use the Smart Race app on digital cars, I can get the times on it, and I can do sort of like if you guys have ever watched MP Slot Cars. He has them on his track. He can tell where he's running on his laps by those telltale track pieces that tell you each quarter of the track you're trying to run. So I plan to get some. It's not priority, so it's not happened yet. That's I haven't gotten the buildings or the mountainside put in or anything like that. But yeah, guys, I can't hardly sleep anymore. I come up with ideas and I try to work them out, and I plan them, and then sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't use a track planner. I never have. The first track I ever built was based on Massimo's on MP Slot Cars, because he was one of the first guys I watched, him and Johnny Hobby. So I liked his track setup. I was like, and I didn't know how to build a track, so I was like, okay, I'll try to mock his. I just made it. Mine was 12 by 8 when I started. His was 12 by 6 when he started. And but then I felt like it was like plagiarism. I was taking somebody else's idea, which now I know you can use other people's ideas. That's what we share for. If you like something, you could implement it into your layout and go the way you want to go. But at the time, I was, I didn't know him. I just knew of him. So I didn't feel like, I didn't want him to see, I didn't have a channel then. Later on, I did have a channel, and I had it for like one video. And after that, the track came down. Because I didn't want to feel like I was stealing something from somebody. Even though I found the track in format, so I knew which pieces to get. But man, that was a long time ago. Guys, I've changed so much. I got rid of basically all my 160s. Like I said last week, the 160s are here for the pit lane, and then everything else is 230s and above. A lot of 415s. I got a 330 bank. Kind of giving some people who haven't watched this channel a little idea, give them some inspiration. There's plenty you can do out here. Now it does take up space, So the bigger you want your track, the more space you're going to take up. It gets tight in here sometimes. I'm kind of like what Marty said on his two lines live that one night. It's been a while ago. We were talking about everybody coming to his house and this, that, and there. He goes, well, I don't really have that much room to go around the track. I'm kind of the same situation. There's enough room for us all to stand at the table around it on 3 sides and then run it from there, but that's about it. And there's not much wall space behind you when you do it. I mean, you can kind of tell by looking at things. The track's right there, and that wall's, there's maybe 2 foot right there behind it. Then this side I've got a little over about 3 feet, so it's a little bit bigger. That's why I got a couple of cabinets here. But I won't lie, if you bring a chair over here, a footstool or a sitting stool over here, mainly my chair, if I back it up, it's on wheels. I end up hitting something on the back wall, and sometimes I'm shaking the cabinets, and you get frustrated because you're like, man, I just wanted to move over just a hair. But anyway, I'm babbling on. This was supposed to be a short video. Guys, I'm really excited about this thing. Every time I walk in the room now, I automatically look at this scene. And, I mean, if you think about it, when they're actually showing races, they're showing from above coming in. Look at that. I mean, it looks like, well, if I had the cards on there, like I did at the beginning, it looks like you're coming into a racetrack scene. And I'm all about scenery. Believe it or not, I'm more into scenery than I am the cars. And that's not far off. I mean, I love trains too. I have that in the other room. I haven't even worked on that. I collect the cars. I wouldn't admit in that before, but I do collect cars. I don't even know how many I have anymore. And I'm wanting to build a bunch of them, so I've gotten several models in here lately. I got 132 Chevy truck coming in. I got a bunch of models you guys have already seen. I also went off the hinges and not my era of cars. The only reason I'm getting the car is I bought the model in a 1933 Rolls Royce Phantom, and I plan to turn it into a 1938 Rolls Royce Wraith, which was from a TV show, Nosferatu. Not the movie, the TV show. It was on for 2 seasons and it ended after that, but it was an evil car, but it was a car that Nosferatu in that one, you say vampire. Well, in the TV series, it didn't show that they didn't say it was or wasn't. He wasn't really a vampire. The car gave him immortality, but the car had to be fed by children, and the children it sucked the life out of them basically and made them into evil little, I guess you could call them vampires. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. It's Nosferatu. It spells like a license plate. I should have that written down and show you what it looks like. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going that far into it. The yellow one, I completed the collection. Somebody, I was going to write his name down. I swear to God I was. He came on, and I know him too. That's the sad part. He came on and said he has the white kit of the Cadillacs. I was like, son of a bitch. Here I am thinking, I finally got all 3 Cadillacs. I am good. I finally got a set that I collected. Because I usually can't do that. I actually forced it this time. I forced my hand on this one. As I told you, I bought this one on the yellow one here on credit card, which I don't do that. So, only because I wanted to get it. It was the only one I could find in the States that I could afford. So, or couldn't afford because I used my credit card, right? But we do that. You do that every once in a while. If it's worth it, you'll do it. I think Slaughter was talking about that a little bit, about with his car that he's got there. He showed in the video last week. It's the creme de la creme. You're going to have cars like that you can't find them anymore. And if you happen to come across them, you're going to do what you got to do to get a hold of it if you have the opportunity. If you have the means to do it, you'll do it. I'm not saying everybody should do that. Think wisely before you spend. I haven't always thought that wisely on spending, so you got to take breaks to recover your wallet. We've all been there. But yeah. So anyway, this is about all I wanted to show you. I have a live coming up Thursday. I'll show a little bit more. I'll probably show you that Rolls Royce. I did get damn it, I took it out of the room already. Yeah. Shane Scriven sent me his slot car hub sticker. By now, most of you have seen it, but yeah, I found it funny. When I looked at it, I go, yo, every one of them's got their flag on their stickers from Australia that I've gotten so far, which is Dick, Shane, David, Box and Walls. They all have their flag on it. I know there's another one. Anyway, Shane's does not. I gave him crap about it too. I was like, "You're the only one that didn't put a flag on your sticker." But you know what he said? It's not about the flag necessarily. It's about the camaraderie of all the world. It's just, look at the stuff we have. It used to be you called your friends on the phone and I had them come over to do something. So you usually had to wait for your friends to do anything. But here we have something that we can communicate all over the freaking world by either videotaping it or going live. You can say communicate with these people, and then projects. But that's just being realistic. Yeah, the fact that I can talk to these guys in Australia, or I can talk to Doug and Ian in the UK, or Rob Sale. It's crazy. It goes on. I can talk to people in Canada. There's people everywhere. If they're into the hobby, and I find out who they are, which I often try to watch slot car channels that I haven't seen, just by hitting the little icon above on my YouTube and saying, slot cars, and it'll bring up channels I don't normally watch. I'm not subscribed to them, don't know about them, and that's why I find some new subscribers. I've done that a few times in the past, and usually I try to, if I get along with them pretty well, I try to promote them up a little bit, and I'm sure you guys have seen me do that a couple times in my videos. If you haven't, go back and watch my old ones. It's always worth going back and looking at them. That's what all this stuff is. It's information given to you for free. But I am at 22 minutes in this. I really got to get to work because they're already calling for me. I usually have they're wanting an emergency load, so I probably need to get going. But I just wanted to finish this up and get this out to you guys because it's great information. Again, I'm not being paid or anything else by this, but if you guys get a chance to pick one of these up, it will make your track look way different. It'll be inspiring. That's how I feel about it. I explained that to Shane when I asked for permission to go ahead and show this. So, I said, it's an awesome little thing. I mean, good Lord, look at it. I mean, I can't show you. If I could show you the whole layout, I'd put an aerial view, and you just look at it and go, man, that looks like a racetrack. But just because I can't do that, I don't have it finished. But just looking here at the pit area. Again, look at the pit area. That looks like a professional layout. Now, my garage is not done. I have more to add to it. This is just where I've gotten so far, and I was excited. I wanted to share it. So, Wildlings, I will talk to you Thursday Night Live if you'd like to join me. And y'all have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk then. Later.
So you know what, with that cheeky laugh behind it, it actually does work. You sick fucker, Eric. I love it, mate. I love it.